The game barely got out, with 100,000 downloads on the Google Play Store in a few days, and I'm here using the knowledge I accumulated over the past 3 years as a student in digital game design to deconstruct the new anime game that is not a dress-up game, WonderEnd Zero. So if you don't want to get spoiled or are not mentally prepared for what is shown on screen, come back when you're ready and finish the game. Hello everyone, Flu here, and let's get right into it. WonderEnd Zero is a free psychological horror/adventure game released on August 17, 2024, and is accessible for Android, iOS, and PC. For the rest of this video, I'll be relying on my experience with its PC version. Average playtime can go between 2 to 6 hours according to public feedback, and WonderEnd Zero reviews are mostly positive. WonderEnd Zero's premise, according to the game's website, is as follows. You play as Alan, an aloof schoolboy, as he tries to escape the nightmarish environment he is in while recovering his lost memories. The generic presentation is out of the way now, so on to the good, interesting stuff WonderEnd Zero is. Huge spoiler alert, starting here from the WonderEnd Zero plot. Turn back now. This is your last warning. If you read the description of the game on Lunime's pages, you'll see that players will discover how Alan became the great evil. However, that's very misleading because Alan is not evil, rather something inside of him is. Let me explain. The chapters of WonderEnd Zero are mostly written in this order. Recovering memory, aka nights, acknowledging said memory, and facing the negativity of that memory, which are put together with names describing them best. Alan's story isn't explained by himself, but by the collective memories of the people he grew up with and through something that has trapped Alan in the first place, Null. Without going much into details, as some elements of the story are open for interpretation, Alan has been through a lot of traumas, despite the lovely adoptive family he has grown up with. Lots of biological parents, loneliness, bullying, betrayal is what progressively changed Alan's goofiness and optimism to someone who is constantly afraid, either to fight, to stand up for himself, or to ask for help, as he feels like a bother more than anything else. Reality is too harsh on him, so he would rather escape by any means, isolating himself, concealing what's wrong to his family and even himself by suppressing his memories, hiding away in dreams, or even taking his own life. Alan's story is a reminder that bullying is still one major problem in our current society, whether in schools or workplaces, as it can affect and destroy lives in the very long term. Now let's focus on Null. Null is the main antagonist of WonderEnd Zero, a powerful being that is rumored to be at the origins of phantasmas, the many different enemies players encounter. Throughout the game, he has shown quite the abilities. He can shapeshift, create illusions, and trap souls into dreamscapes and nightmares, which can turn them into phantasmas. As the game progresses, while Alan regains his memories and things keep on going, we learn that Null took and still takes advantage of Alan's weaknesses and traumas to keep him under control. Why? Well, Null wants to take over Alan's body and destroy Alan's world with the phantasmas. No matter which answer you give Null when he asks Alan to join him, his goals remain the same. Even after Alan's death, his anger and hunger for destruction does not waver and reminds players how much of a threat he is for the WonderEnd universe. As for other characters players encounter throughout the main plot, they can find their backstories, motivations, and descriptions either in Alan's core memories, objects you collect, like photos, books, or in hidden files on the WonderEnd computer, which can be considered good for characters we really got to know for some answers, less so if we haven't seen them. For instance, Yume, where it feels like she was scrapped from the main game and the last solution to include her was through those game files. Wasted potential, I tell you. And if players are really uninterested in the story, they can autoplay or even skip the cutscenes because there are a lot of them. But for first playthrough, it is recommended to follow along the story for better understanding on how the events unfold. WonderEnd Zero is a game that helps players understand their task whenever something new is about to be learned. Every time a new mission or a new mechanic is brought up, Aside from the tutorial, a flashcard appears with imagery and small descriptions to guide the players into completing it. Those flashcards are very useful as WonderEnd Zero is very reliant on quick-time events, mini-games completion, and survivability, either through dodging or hiding, or even calculating your aim and strategy at the right moment, in attempts to balance out with the already heavy storytelling. The game is also very dependent on its RNG, aka a randomizer that can be found everywhere, which makes both nights and dreamscape phases of the game unpredictable. Very, very unpredictable if we talk about the boss fights. The nights and early dreamscape events are uncomparable to the 3 boss fights found in the game: Moka, Rabbi, and Null. Unless you love challenges and games with overwhelming gameplay, where each of your movements can be randomly punished, this is gonna be quite the rage-inducing game that will very likely diminish your positive thoughts on it. In Nights, players have 3 points of health that can be replenished 2 times when they are down to 1, unlike boss fights who give you 5 points of health every new phase and no healing factors. Cause yes, each boss fight has 3 phases. When hit, there is a limited timer that makes the player invincible so that they aren't automatically hit again. If players die to phantasmas, they'll be greeted with the game over screen and advice at the bottom to avoid dying from them next time. However, if it is death from the boss fights, they are left with bits of Alan thoughts on them, which doesn't help much if players have been stuck on the boss fight for more than an hour. Once completing a night or dreamscape event, the game automatically saves the progress, which players can access later on if they wish to. As for keyboard or button input, it is flexible to the player's likings, with the PC leaving room for WASD or the arrows for the movements, for instance. When it comes to visuals and aesthetic, leave it to Meritoro and their animation skills to bring to life the characters, while keeping it consistent, clean, yet gruesome enough to make the atmosphere eerie and unpleasant, despite gacha-like character designs and decors. Mostly during the nights, it doesn't feel as threatening or feels to be scary.
What should I do? I'm so sorry.
Okay. 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 Oh my ears. That wasn't scary, but okay.
Oh, I died? It's my head? What? What the fuck is this?
But the boss fights really put that pressure and stress on the player to make the death screens more effective.
Oh no. Oh, I forgot she could do that. Oh my gosh, capybara, 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 capybara.
However, the designs of the boss fights, aside from Moka, feel out of place without further context. For instance, while Rabbi's set is in touch with his personality, we have never seen Rabbi with a mallet in-game before his fight, or take a liking to bees to the point of using them as projectiles. Instead, you have to watch Meritoro's animations involving Rabbi to realize that he had those from the beginning and it was a creative decision. As for Null, there is a disharmony between the interactive modern pillars, the computer window and glitches, and the more ancient platform designs, background pillars, and overall set, which doesn't do much justice for Null as a character. You also figure out why so many eyeballs in his boss fights after digging through the game files of the WonderEnd computer. Music choices and sound effects are top-notch. The music changes depending on the situation, whether it is a seemingly peaceful plane or a boss fight becoming more intense. Each effect has its unique sonority that players can easily recognize, whether good or bad connotations are associated with it, and know exactly how to act based on it. Although repeating those same few notes on boss fights tend to be very annoying on the long term, at least there is an option to lower or mute the background music and sound effects altogether. Game's lighting, warning signs, and glitch effects appear when phantasmas or boss fights occur, indicating if one is nearby the player, so they can react accordingly to the situation they are in. Colors are not chosen at random. Alan's happy memories, or when he is with his family, are way more bright color-wise than sad, traumatic memories and events, which all share darker tones and lots of black and red. Each night increases in difficulty for 5 nights in total. As more rooms from the school are unlocked, the task minigames change their organization and give you less time, and the phantasms spawn more often. The same goes for the boss fights, as the more you progress, the more overwhelming it can become, and the RNG is stronger. Literally.
Angel? Yeah. Okay. I can do this. Come on. Jesus, fuck you. Okay, do I hand? And of course you bring me to the bitch. Ah, mais ta merde!
After the first boss fight, the nights become less challenging compared to them, which really makes the game unbalanced. Game flow is very important to make sure players have fun without feeling anxious nor frustrated throughout their experience. If it's too hard all the time, it's likely that players will give up playing, and if it's too easy, it won't stick in their memories. Which is why every game should be able to balance both fun and challenge to be consistent and considered good enough to be enjoyable and remembered. For WonderEnd Zero, it's a lot of ups and downs without really being able to be consistent, hence it's difficult to consider it a balanced game. From the feedback, nights and early dreamscapes are not as memorable as the boss fights, where lots of players felt frustrated by their respective RNG. Whoever is watching this and is considering making a game, remember that you don't make games just for yourself and your skills, otherwise don't publish it. But you also need to take into account the target audience and listen to their feedback as well. Just like every form of entertainment and creativity, one can't exist without the other. When it comes to replayability, Lunme really tried to make the post-game interesting to compensate for what the main game couldn't offer. After finishing the main route, players can go back to the game in search of lore elements like memory photos, decode the WonderEnd computer to unlock more secrets, and try out a harder difficulty of past levels named Glitch Mode to experience a secret ending. Now, I won't be revealing to you all the answers, that's for you to discover, but WonderEnd Zero doesn't end after the main ending, that's for sure. Finally, please don't put ads in the middle of a boss fight, speaking for mobile and emulator users, as it is very anticlimactic and can ruin runs at the slightest chance.
A lot of applications, so it's not this. No, they put me an ad in the middle of the... You think it's a time? Maybe? No, that's crazy. That's crazy. No. I don't know who decided to put literally ads. No. I cannot do this if there's fucking ads inside my fucking stuff.
For a company in which its player base are more used to playing dress-ups and RPGs, Lunme surprisingly did a good job for its first serious entry outside of its comfort zone. Although there is still room for improvement, especially in the gameplay and difficulty categories. However, it would be a lie to say it's a bad game, because if you consider WonderEnd Zero bad, what do you think of those awful cash grab games? If you watched this video and did not play the game despite my warnings, honestly do give it a try. After all, it's free. You ain't losing anything. And with that, this video comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed watching me ramble about WonderEnd Zero, and I wish you all a good day or night. Bye everyone!